There's a tweet, Pat, that I'm just noticing here. I should pull this up. I just saw this in our DM with Eric and Sam. Did you see this tweet from Brick Van Exel?
I think Ship. I think Eric retweeted this for us.
That's incredible. We have right here, I'm 100% sneaking into the bathroom during this date at 9:50 to see what the ship chasers are saying about JJ Taylor. I mean, should we just get our JJ Taylor takes off our chest now so he doesn't have to leave his date to figure out
I think he might be on the date now. And so as kind of a gesture of goodwill, we ought to save the JJ Taylor discussion for exactly 9:50.
You're right. All right. The chat, remind us at 9:50. Brick, if you happen to tune in right now, we are going to give our JJ Taylor takes at 9:50.
Is that he's trying to figure out exactly how much we're bidding because we tell people right at 9:50 thing?
I don't think Brick is in any leagues with us. I think he's just trying to time this. Congrats on the date, Brick.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
Hey, congrats on the date.
Yeah, in this economy, I mean, that's incredible.
Nice humble brag. Yeah, a woman will spend time with you.
Yeah,
we get it.
Yeah. I mean, last time I went on a date that didn't live with me, probably about 18 years ago. So congratulations on that, Brick. Gretch, Crane, how are we guys doing?
Doing good.
Great. I have an important question tonight, and it's for you, Pete, but it's a little awkward because it's about Pat and he's here. But Pete, why is it that
he's not here anymore?
Why do you think it is that Pat wouldn't let us get more Rashad Bateman this year? I mean, I'm so excited for him, but he just always was just turning us down.
Yeah, it was hard because we were super high on him. Pat always wanted to cut him kind of early on in the season. He was like, no, it's just not going to happen. And you and me were kind of like, hey, let's just be a little patient. He could come back and just kind of be the guy in this offense. And it's tough. It's tough. I don't know why we didn't listen. He didn't listen to us more.
I know. I mean, I just wish we had more exposure to him, but it's Pat, man.
There you go. I took the opportunity while I was away to change my name, Bateman Sisson, because that's what it is. Davis Maddock literally told me as we were drafting Rashad Bateman that we were going to cut him. We didn't. We still got him. We actually, Pete, I don't know if you realize, someone dropped him in one of our FFPC leagues, and I don't think we scooped him up there. So I am actually a little bummed that we don't have one more share of Rashad Bateman.
You're a fraud. How did you not pick up a Bateman just dangling on the waiver wire?
Honestly, dude, I mean, I feel like you were at the end of the road there. I wasn't going to be able to get one more on a team, but I'm glad we have what we do. He looked good. He did the little, I can't quite show you, but, his leg was coming up nice. Looks pretty healthy out there.
Yeah, and we're also coming off a week where Marquise Brown did no favors to endear himself to the fantasy community. I think the fantasy community is ready for Bateman season.
Yeah, drops don't matter until Marquise Brown does 3 of them and Rashad Bateman's coming off IR. They matter a lot.
Oh, my goodness. Gretch, you have emerged from the Stealing Signals lab. I assume.
I mean, not really. I don't know that I ever did emerge this week. I just started writing a weighted targets per out run piece this morning, and then I did the pods with Sean, and then I did some Discord stuff for Stealing Signals, and then I finally finished that piece. And now I still have to write something for Odds Checker tonight, but I'm here with you guys. I'm basically still in the Stealing Signals lab through Wednesday.
Yeah.
But that weighted targets per out run piece is good. People should check that out. Free piece if you're not a sub.
I just saw that come through my email here. That was an hour ago or so, right?
Yeah, I just finished it up. I was writing it all day today. Felt like another Stealing Signals day.
There you go. Yeah, we're at the point now where the weeks just absolutely fly by. Waivers snuck up on me this afternoon, but I feel like we're in a little better place than we were last week. I got to do a first pass on most of our stuff. Did you guys get to do a first pass through waivers?
Yeah. I missed some last night. These dynasty leagues, man. The Tuesday waiver, just put them all Wednesday. What are we doing?
It is. I have to have. That's the nice thing about the FFPC is we just know it's 10 o'clock Wednesday nights. And I have to have calendar invites for all these random leagues where it's all right, my guillotine league waivers process at 3:34 p.m., Greenwich Mean Time. And I'm like, I can't deal with this shit.
See, I intended to do that. I have not even figured it out yet. I have leagues on so many different sites. I started making notes this week when I got like email notifications of like, oh, that's the waivers that I missed this week. Like now maybe next week, in week 4, I'll finally get it figured out.
I know. And it is still funny to me that we all love fantasy football. We like researching it. We like talking about it. And yet when it comes to setting the waivers, it's almost like a game of chicken of who's going to go in there first and do it, because it does feel like such a chore.
It does. Once you get the ball rolling, then it gets a lot easier to kind of tweak, you know. This was a nice week because there's like a couple guys that you know to look for, and there's a couple guys who are pretty cheap to add, but there's nothing crazy. You don't have to figure out an Eli Mitchell bid, you know. Those weeks feel like crazy, you know.
Yeah.
This week did seem a little chiller. I agree.
Was Chuba even available in a single one of our leagues? No.
Well, I'll double check that, but because that would be a big old whiff on us. But I'm pretty sure he's available in none.
Well, it shows how plugged I am in. Because
that's right. You do you figured. How do you do the thing where you check all the leagues?
Oh, it's so good, dude.
Search. Oh God, that's
yeah,
awesome.
It's so good. They really upgraded their website. It's now 800 times better than the NFC website. Fix your site.
I feel bad because I put Chuba Hubbard on the thumbnail. The old bait and switch. You guys got rugged. He's not available in any of your leagues. Okay, except he's available in Pat's girlfriend's league, as I heard right as we went.
I actually don't know if because I'm pretty sure her waivers were last night.
Pat pipes in. I add him to the StreamYard thing, and all I hear Pat go is he goes really like quick. He goes, Chuba Hubbard. And I was like, are you talking to me? He's like, no, Brittany needs to know to pick up.
Yeah, it's my warm up. It's my warm up before I get on.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just confirm that he's not available in any of our leagues.
He's not. I just checked.
All right. We can move along. So, I mean, who does that even make the lead marquee pickup this week? I mean, there really isn't a slam dunk pickup. I will say Gio getting dropped in a lot of leagues was pretty interesting to me.
Dalton Schultz is available in some leagues. There's not a ton of guys. I mean, we're putting in some bids for Josh Gordon, who's not even going to play this week. We're putting in some Royce Freeman bids. Kudos to Sam Sherman, who got us Royce Freeman in our league with him. The look ahead. The look ahead move. It's a good move.
Lawrence, we're not talking about JJ Taylor until 9:50 p.m. For Bricks.
Josh Gordon is already rostered in one of the leagues in our ship stealing league.
Seriously?
He's already rostered.
Daigle gave me a little bit of crap for that on our Waiver Wire show on Monday. He was like, I thought you'd be the type of guy to already pick up Josh Gordon. Like I'd let him down by not picking him up.
And it's like, what do you mean by the type of guy?
Yeah, it was also sort of backhanded too. It wasn't like you're so sharp. No, it was like you'll be the type of guy. Because he also doesn't like Josh Gordon very much as a pickup. So it was like double backhanded. I let him down, but also it was a bad move in the first place.
All right. Ben Gretsch, be rational. Is there any chance, put a percentage chance that Josh Gordon is fantasy relevant this year?
A percentage chance that he's relevant? I mean,
relevant. Like that he can be.
Put him in a round. Do it as a round.
All right. We redraft at some point and he's in the top 10 rounds of picks.
I'm putting a percentage chance that at some point he would be worth a top 10 round selection.
Yes. If we redrafted after every single week, that eventually this is such a stupid hypothetical.
No, I was saying if we drafted today, what round would you take him in? Just to simplify it, so Ben doesn't have to think of some crazy odds.
I like Beats better.
Okay, all right.
Mine is better. It's better.
Okay.
Like, will he ever be a top, 50 wide receiver value this year? Basically, is sort of the
Chris G setting the line here for us at 6.9%, which I feel like is a good over under if we want to use that prompt.
No, I think it's
4.2%.
I think it's I'll say.
So you're taking the other. You're taking the
I'll
other.
say 15%. 20%. I mean, look, like the fact that the Chiefs got him, I think, is vaguely interesting. Like, we've done this with Gordon a million times.
So in 1 in 5 worlds, Josh Gordon is fantasy relevant. That seems a little high.
I mean, so my thing is they just don't have another receiver. Like they're running Mecole Hardman on a ton more routes. He's not earning targets. He's earning targets at a lower rate than he did last year. He seems to make a lot of mistakes on the field.
Well done.
I don't know. I was saying 15%, so not necessarily 1 in 5. What did I say? 20 after that?
You said 20 after that, so then I took the higher one to make my point.
Yeah, that's smart. That's good. No, I mean I think there's scenarios, right? Like if he's actually getting run with the Chiefs, even if he's only running routes like 50% of the time, like Josh Gordon catching passes from Patrick Mahomes would be fantasy relevant.
Yeah.
He was close to fantasy relevant with the Seahawks for a bit, but they just didn't use him a ton. But like, what if he basically takes Mecole's role?
Dude, I don't want to have that conversation right now because Mecole is just finally coming into his own. If he gets cucked by Josh Gordon now, I mean,
he's coming into his own as a cuttable depth wide receiver in fantasy. I mean, he's not.
You say Mecole Hardman? What, he led the team in targets 2 weeks ago? You're saying he's a cuttable receiver?
I mean, I'm being a little harsh, but I mean, certainly now that they've signed Josh Gordon.
Your screen is frozen for a sec. I wish I got that screen grab.
I guess I'm saying that partly because they just signed Josh Gordon, and it's like but they really struggled last week to they just don't have a counterpunch, and the Chargers wanted the counterpunch to be Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which is part of the problem, but just isn't in the passing game. They don't really have a counterpunch if you take away Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So I don't know. I feel like he hasn't quite stepped up in a real world way the way he's needed to.
Yeah, I don't know, but like the narrative heading into that game, I was listening to the hashtag football guys and Evan Silva talk about how the Chargers defense has been playing things, keeping everything underneath, limiting the big plays. Like that was always going to be their MO in that game. Tyreek Hill didn't do anything there. So I don't know if that's an indictment on Mecole Hardman.
Fair enough. I mean, let's see. I mean, I was looking at his yards per route run today. It was pretty bad. 1.19 yards per route run, 7.6 yards per target, which isn't like terrible. He's getting targeted on 16% of his routes. It's not great. Like he's actually not earning targets all that well this year, despite week 2 looking pretty decent. He's out there a lot more. He's running around 73% of dropbacks. That's nice.
Do you guys think this is close? Josh Gordon or Tim Patrick? I don't think it's close.
No, you got to go Tim Patrick.
I mean, yeah, it's Tim Patrick, but like, what's Tim Patrick gonna? Is he gonna win you your league?
I mean, if a Broncos
is Josh Gordon gonna win your league?
Right.
No, but like, what's the point of this discussion?
What's the point of any of this?
What's the point of any shit we're doing, Gretch? Fucking come on the screen.
Eat Arby's.
Bullshit.
All right, let's just do the rest of the podcast on woodworking.
$999 on JJ Taylor. Are we at $650 yet? Have we reached that point yet? $950 for you guys.
The podcast turned into straight nihilism 15 minutes in tonight. So there.
All right, here's one.
Wine?
I'm drinking wine. Oh, it looks like the exact same glass.
Teeth,
wow.
My teeth are getting so red. Your teeth aren't.
I just started drinking. I'll get there by 9:50. Once we start talking about JJ Taylor, I have nice red teeth. There was a question here from Jameson Painter, which is a sad one, but I think a good one. Josh Gordon or Diami Brown? I think it's Josh Gordon. You might as well churn it out, see what happens.
So the thing with Gordon, didn't play last year. There's a lot of guys that didn't play last year. Damian Williams didn't play last year, whatever. But he played in 2019. He played 11 games. He only got 47 targets. Played across 2 teams. But on those, I mean, he wasn't great. His yards per run, 1.42, very low. But he had solid yards per target, wasn't earning targets at a particularly high rate. And you go back to 2018, he played 12 games. I mean, he's actually played 11 and 12 games, 2018, 2019. His yards per target that year, 10.4.
Yards per route run. And what was his yards per route run? It was like over 2, wasn't it?
2018 was 1.94. It was still really good.
That's really good.
Yeah, he was still kind of earning targets at a decent rate. His yards per target was good. Like I said, not as good in 2019, but it was bad with the Patriots, and then they got rid of him, and then he went to Seattle. He only got a few targets with Seattle, but was like better in Seattle, and then he got suspended. Anyway, he's like still shown flashes at times in the last couple of years. I understand. I understand nobody wants to do it anymore, but there are worlds where Josh Gordon is like scoring touchdowns for the Chiefs this year, and we're like, okay.
Yeah. Dare I say, he would be better in best ball. It's gonna be pretty tough to put Josh Gordon in the starting lineup.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to be excited about him. It still feels like his best case scenario is being Mecole Hardman, and we already have Mecole Hardman.
I mean,
how does it? When was the last time Josh Gordon looked good on the football field?
That's what I was just talking about. The last times he's played, he's kind of never stopped looking good.
Yeah, I don't
know. From like yards per target, he hasn't like drawn targets as well. I don't know. He's probably
which is more important. I think it
is more important.
But it's still a decent argument to say he wasn't that great in 2019 in a short sample. He was pretty good in 2018, and now he gets Patrick Mahomes. So maybe we get that 2018 version. And he's only like what, 30? He's not even that old.
Yeah, he's 30. He's not.
How is he 30?
It's crazy. It is insane.
He should be like 34. He's 4 years too young.
He is more than a year younger than Travis Kelce, for reference on his teammate over there.
Wow.
Tommy, I don't know how many times that we need to say this, but we're not talking about JJ Taylor for another 15 minutes. Okay.
Dude's on a date, dude.
He's on a fucking date. He's timed his bathroom trip to hear us talk about Jonathan Taylor. If we talk about him now and he misses it, he's going to be pissed.
There are worlds where Gordon gets arrested for partying with Andy Reid's son. I mean, there's a lot of worlds out there, and that's.
Oh boy.
Let's. This is a fun one. Let's have this conversation. Let's talk about Jonathan Taylor. Sam Hoppen was talking about him on Stat Chasing earlier this week.
What's fun about this?
Because Jonathan Taylor is a fun player that we all like, and people want to know if he's going to turn things around.
I'm sad.
You're sad.
Ben, you start the fun. Because I'm sad too.
No, here's what I'll say, and I noticed this while writing this weighted targets per out run thing today. Like Michael Pittman's numbers aren't that great. They've just run a ton of routes because they've thrown a ton because they're 0-3. This is another thing that Sam and I DM'd a little bit about after he sent a pretty cool visual. Did he talk about this on Stat Chasing? I haven't checked it out, but where guys' touches have come by win probability, because like the Colts have lost every game.
I don't think he showed that.
Okay, but he tweeted.
I listened to it, but
yeah, he tweeted it. It was interesting. It's obviously like the I think somebody said the Colts are like, have they not led yet? Did somebody tweet that? Is that a fact, or did I dream that the Colts have not led in a game yet? I mean, regardless, they have not been in scripts.
I think the Panthers have not trailed, but I don't know about that.
They have not been in scripts that have been conducive to Jonathan Taylor's type of success. That's the biggest thing you can say, right? Like they haven't been able to lean on him at all in the second half of games. They've lost all 3 games. They're not going to lose every game this year. Wentz has looked pretty terrible. Like this team has to be a Jonathan Taylor team. I mean, I think like Wentz has done some legitimately ridiculous things. People have talked about Wentz playing well. Did you guys see the shovel pass at the goal line after Taylor got stuffed in week 2 where he just like threw it to a defensive end?
Yes. He threw an interception on a shovel pass, which is like impossible.
There's he's throwing it to no one. He just like threw it to space. Then he had last week, he was getting like blitz really hard, and he looked like a little kid who didn't want to get knocked down. He just threw the ball straight at the ground. He looked like Phillip Rivers on a dead play, and he got an intentional grounding. It was the quickest intentional grounding flag I've ever seen. It's like, yeah, that's intentional grounding. They immediately threw the flag.
I have the numbers here. The Colts have led for 2 minutes, and I guess an average of 2 minutes and 6 seconds.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not good. The Jets are the only team that's worse. They have not led all season.
And the Marlon Mack trade stuff, I mean, number one, to me, I read that as it came out from Schefter and Pelissero and all these guys all at the same time. It read to me like they can't find suitors or more or less, or like they don't necessarily want to use Mac or don't think he's all the way back from his Achilles, but they're trying to do solid by him and be like, look, we'll put it out there. They don't want to just trade away depth.
I think he must have requested
he sort of did, obviously. Yeah, it was sort of suggested, but like they don't want to just trade him away for a 7th round pick is what sort of the implication was, but they're also not really itching to use him, obviously, or else they wouldn't have, made that public. Like they want to use Jonathan Taylor. They want this to be a Jonathan Taylor team, and they just haven't had like any game situations where they can't.
You're not worried at all about the usage last week where they're just kind of sticking with Hines around the goal line?
That was like one possession, right?
I'm not sure. It might have been more.
These things are adding up, right? Where it's like, well, it's just one series for Marlon Mack. It's just one series at the goal line with Nyheim Hines. I'm still bullish on Jonathan Taylor, but it's weird. It's like they have to spread it out. They did this whole song and dance last year. Granted, he was a rookie. And then they realized how good he was down the stretch. And it's like, why did we reset his usage? It's like he's a rookie again to start this year.
It's the exact same like story. We're just rebooted it.
Last year they had Jordan. Even after Mac went down, they had Jordan Wilkins working in. They don't have Mac.
Yeah,
like Mac
that's a good
played
point.
In week 2. He was back and active in week 3, right? Like Hines is playing, and Hines is good, and that's frustrating. It's not dissimilar to Gibson and McKissick. Like that's that whole situation.
Yeah, it's very similar.
You bet on talent in certain respects too, and Taylor is going to have some big plays. He's going to. The fact that he hasn't scored a touchdown yet is just laughable with how many goal line touches he got. Like that's just very silly. But yeah,
I think the thing that's good. Sorry.
Oh, just Hines had like a 6-yard carry, then a 9-yard touchdown run right after that. It wasn't even like goal line work. It was a 9-yard, and it was like around the end. He was running well. He was on the field. They just left him on the field.
The thing I think it's frustrating about Taylor, because the Gibson situation is very similar, but the Gibson situation, I think you can kind of talk yourself into the idea of like, this is going to be a Gibson game. Like this week, right? You're like, I'm excited about Gibson because the script sets up well. I'm like, they're going to be leading, they're going to be in the right scripts. Taylor just feels like it's a randomizer wheel where they just like last week, they just liked the way Hines was playing. They played him a bunch. But in a way, I actually do wonder, like maybe that gives Taylor more upside because if he just happens to hit the right week where they decide to ride him and it's like a good matchup, then he can just smash. Whereas Gibson, even in really good matchups, on 3rd down, he's coming out. In the 2-minute, even in really good matchups, he's probably coming out. So I think Taylor's going to be more frustrating, but probably has higher upside on any given week.
Hines did have another green zone touch and from the 7, and Taylor did not have any in this game. So that is kind of
when we did the recap last week, that was one of the takeaways from the guy who watched the game. He was like, they're just not using Taylor around the goal line.
But that's not true. He had nine green zone touches in the first 2 weeks. I think he's still second in the NFL in green zone touches, even though he didn't get any in week 3. Like it's not that they're not using him; they just didn't for one game.
They just didn't want you, and that's kind of what I mean. It's just like it's not. He wasn't scripted out. Like why did they do that? Like did they even know? Like they just maybe liked the way Hines was looking, or you happen to be in for those plays. Maybe they checked out of a pass. It just seems more random, I guess.
That the second time the Hines was in there was in the 4th quarter, and they were down 9, and they like Hines caught a long pass as well. In some respects, he was kind of scripted out. They were throwing a ton on this drive. Every play was a pass until Hines got that carry, and it was their second to last drive of a game that they lost by whatever they lost by 9 or something.
Yeah.
Ben, I thought you had some interesting stuff in stealing signals about Trey Sermon, and I feel like the 49ers are still a bit of a riddle for people as far as to get excitement about Trey Sermon, to be crossing our fingers. Elijah Mitchell is back this week to stash Jeff Wilson. Where are you at on the 49ers based on what we've seen through 3 weeks?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. They started with Kyle Juszczyk on the first snap and the first carry and handed off to him. And then they did use Sermon a good amount. He wasn't like particularly explosive. Did get a goal line touch late and score. Excuse me. But they didn't use either of those other true running backs, Kerryon Johnson and Jock Patrick, who, if anybody stashed those guys, I had them both in some spots. Neither of them got an offensive snap. And so it was literally just Sermon and Juszczyk that they were willing to go with. And yet Sermon only had a 59% snap share. Mitchell's been over 60% each of the first 2 weeks. They didn't do any of this kind of stuff with Juszczyk.
Are you saying Juszczyk? Isn't it Juszczyk?
That's how you say it.
It's Juszczyk, but I've just been letting it go because I love it.
I'm just calling him Juice Box. I mean, I don't know. Like, what the hell? Can we go back to Okwuegbunam? They were saying that on the broadcast, Okwuegbunam. You guys are calling him Okwuegbunam. I get it. I learned it. I thought about it. I learned it. Okwuegbunam. But on the broadcast, they called him this week. They called him Okwuegbunam like 6 times. I messaged you guys. It was like constant. So I'm not the only idiot. I just want that clear. But Sermon. 59% of the snaps is like kind of low when you're the only actual running back, right? And so they were using Juszczyk, whatever the fuck his name is.
You nailed it.
You got it. Yeah, you crushing it, dude.
They were using him in more routes. They used him on some handoffs. They used him in a bigger role than his traditional H-back role. To me, that signified they didn't really feel great with Sermon, leaning into him. They didn't do that stuff with Mitchell. And I kind of took that as like a little bit of a concern in the respect that we don't really know how it's going to shake out coming, into the future. And I'm not saying that it's clear either way, but I think it's an increased risk that Sermon gets buried again, that they weren't willing to turn this over to him in this game the way that they turned it over to Mitchell. And if Mitchell's good to go this week, I would guess that Mitchell gets way more work than Sermon.
Me too.
Yeah, that's the read I got. I mean, based on the Juszczyk, they're giving Kittle carries. It was interesting that Sermon wasn't he the only running back to get a running back carry for them, but they were just everyone else was getting carries too. But yeah, I'm with you. That's my read on it too. Is that like if Elijah Mitchell's good to go, this is his backfield, and Trey Sermon's in a very complimentary role.
But also, like, Juszczyk is definitely. He was a running back for that game. You know what I mean?
True.
Did you just intentionally call him Juszczyk, or
he's got that juice? He's got that juice, man.
He went from shaming you to adopting it.
I think it's great, actually. I was just asking if that's what you're saying.
Wasn't his name on Twitter?
Like that's what you're saying.
Juice with a check mark. I thought that's how you said his damn name.
Well, that's probably his nickname, Juice, because he's got so much juice.
He
was a running back last week.
Juicecheck44 on Twitter. I'm calling him Juicecheck from now on. I'm referring to his Twitter at. All
right, let's do it. Juicecheck.
There you go.
Pat Pilhelmuth and Kyle Juicecheck.
Yes.
It's like little kids naming NFL players. Pat, any other situations from this past week that you thought was interesting from a usage perspective?
Well, the Carolina thing, like I said, we got Royce Freeman on one of the leagues as a look ahead. But if you just extrapolate the usage after CMC went down, it was like it was like 78% snaps for Hubbard. McCaffrey was at 79% or something like that. So it's, they just kind of handed him the snaps. And I don't think he'll get the same role, in terms of like all the cool stuff McCaffrey's doing in terms of getting targets ahead of the line of scrimmage and everything. But it does make Freeman feel like all of a sudden he's a contingency guy with like 2 weeks of contingent value. So it did make me a little bit less excited about him.
Yeah, that makes sense. Gretch, you have takes on that?
I was reading Hassan and Blair talking about our bids and different.
I was looking at that a few minutes ago as well.
Yeah, I wasn't listening to Pat at all, so I can't comment on that whatsoever.
You on Royce Freeman? Royce Freeman, you like him or not?
Royce Freeman, yeah, no, I think interesting stash. Like it seems like McCaffrey's not that banged up. Somebody in the new little Stealing Signals Discord, tease, mentioned that somewhere, Pat, maybe you said this, they called it a 0.5 grade strain. Is that something that you heard, or did that person make that up?
I didn't hear that.
Because that sounded positive to me. But
yeah, I'd heard somewhere between like 1 to 3 weeks was the last thing I had heard.
So it doesn't sound too serious. I mean, so the one thing is obviously he does have a hamstring concern now, and those can recur. So that's like a little bit of an issue, obviously, going forward. Seems like Hubbard probably will play more. He played a lot more. After McCaffrey went down, he ran more routes, but Freeman did sort of work in later in that game. Hubbard wasn't doing particularly well. Yeah, I mean, I think Freeman's a fine stash. He was a good prospect once upon a time. Never really got a lot of opportunities. I think in Signals I was talking about how he used to play a lot in passing downs with Denver because they liked him as a pass blocker. Not necessarily a great back at earning targets. Not that that's really a thing, but he always seemed to run a lot of routes and not get a lot of targets. Maybe he's just like slow out of the backfield or something. I don't know. But he could cut into Hubbard's receiving work, which would make him more interesting if for some reason he started getting targets for the Panthers. Like we don't really know, but he's worth stashing. He's got a profile that for a long time with Royce Freeman when he was in Denver, I was thinking if he just gets somewhere else, maybe he'll pop a little bit. So maybe, we don't really know.
Where are you at on Demetric Felton? Because
that was exactly who I was going to bring up. Yeah. I was going to say, how do you rank like Demetric Felton versus Royce Freeman?
Felton just seems like a gadget guy. Like did they even line him up? I don't think they've lined him up in the backfield yet. I was looking at his like snap alignment on PFF and it looked like it was all inline and slot. I know like one of his long plays was like a quick bubble screen. Like he's listed as a running back. He's actually playing as a receiver.
Is that good though? Like, you know what I mean? Like if I could, some of these
he was
slot
running
receivers,
enough routes, but he's not.
Yeah.
Like he played three snaps in week 2. I didn't look at him in week 3. In week 2, he played 3 snaps and had 2 catches. Last week he played 11. And again, he got 1 in the backfield, 1 snap in the backfield. But again, he had 9 in the slot, 1 out wide. So his snaps rose from 3 to 11. I mean, maybe if he gets to a point where he's playing like 20 plus snaps, I think he gets interesting. But right now he's playing like 9 or even if he's playing 9 or 10 slot snaps a game, that's not.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
I'm not really interested at that point.
Yeah,
Pete, I lowered our bids for him. Just like I just bumped him back past just a smidge. I mean, it wasn't. He was already at a smidge, so there's not too much more smidgen.
Guys, it's almost 10-10 here.
Let's get into it. Okay.
Hang on. Brick Van Exel right now is walking to the bathroom. And do you know what he wants? He wants to hear us talk about this.
The 1-yard line. Tate will take the snap, hand off Taylor, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
Taylor to the end zone for the touchdown.
Play you one. Tate will hand off Taylor, dives over the top. Touchdown, Arizona. Wildcats will run the play. Hand off J.J. Taylor, right side. Spins away at the 15. Your side up to the 10, the 20, 25 out to the 30. Gets a block to the 40 to midfield. Turns the corner. Sun Devil 40. Foot race down to the 35 to the 30 and out of bounds. Near the 25-yard line. First and 10, Arizona.
How much longer was that video?
I don't remember that existing. Did you guys? Was that from like last offseason?
He pulled that up at some point during this episode.
I downloaded it 3 minutes ago from YouTube and uploaded it to StreamYard.
Not your typical music choice there, Pete.
It did kind of sound like the kicker chasing. That'll be it.
Yeah.
I was quickly, while you guys were talking, I was rifling through J.J. Taylor highlight videos trying to find a good one.
I mean, he looks pretty elusive there. Nice agility. Did make me a little more excited about him, I have to say.
All right, so Brick Van Exel's on the shitter at a restaurant right now. Let's hear your J.J. Taylor take.
I mean, I've been kind of having him first among those types of Royce Freeman guys. All the bids right now feel pretty cheap. Like I don't want to break the bank for these guys, but it's ambiguous there, and Stevenson's probably stashed already, but Taylor's available in a ton of leagues. So we don't know. Like Stevenson was a healthy scratch. They did play Brandon Bolden ahead of J.J. Taylor last week, which is not a great sign since Brandon Bolden is a career special teamer. But at the same time, they're going to have a game plan in place. Maybe they bring in J.J. Taylor. And now that White's out for the season, maybe J.J. Taylor works into that role over time. It's a valuable role, and if you can get him cheap, I like it.
Gretch, where are you at on that backfield?
I think Pat hit a nail on the head. I think Ramondre is probably the better pickup because there's more potential for like 3-down work. I did not think it was a good sign that J.J. Taylor was active and they went to Brandon Bolden as much as they did. Like, that's not great for his short term, but Pat said it well that Taylor could work into that role. They got to find a long-term answer. They're going to try things. It could very well be Taylor next week, even if they just give him a week of practice and they feel more comfortable with him. I don't think it's going to be Bolden. He's 31. He's been a special teamer. They have leaned on him like this after in-game injuries in the past. He's had these weird games where he gets used a bunch. I mean, we could all be wrong on that. They could use him again next week, but I don't think they're going to be like using Brandon Bolden a ton. I do, before we hit 7 o'clock though, I'm looking at our ship stealing team.
7 o'clock. It still blows my mind.
Yeah, and that's crazy,
that's what,
dude.
I mean, we're so in the future over
Oh
here,
my
man.
God.
Yeah, enjoy your sleepiness, nerds.
Nerds. But the whole East Coast is a big nerd to you? What are you talking about?
You fucking sleepy ass East Coast nerds.
East Coast, just a bunch of sleepy nerds.
We have a bunch of bids in there that are all for running backs, and we have like 7 running backs on this team already. And
On which team?
Good.
Ship
stealing.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Wait, something
No,
weird
but-
happened with. Oh, hang on, I gotta fix one of these bids.
Yeah,
Fix it, Pat.
you got 2 drops in there.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
God.
is gonna be us every week. I've decided at 9:55 Eastern.
I got it, Pete. I got it.
What about
Go ahead.
What I would suggest, Ben, is whatever you're thinking to start doing it, because
refresh? I just threw in a bid with no drop player to show you a player. We're
okay.
talking like we're drafting.
Yeah, go ahead. Put him in. Put him in for. I don't know. $10 is fine. Put him in for $10.
Wow. Ben Gretch chasing the box score. All right. You know what? We pride ourselves on transparency. Ben Gretch wants us to pick up Deshaun Jackson.
He wants us to spend $10, dude. At most one.
The exact bid that we're putting in for Deshaun Jackson right now.
So can I put him over?
I
Royce
already
Freeman?
said $10.
Can I put him over Royce?
Yeah. Put him over Royce. That's what I'm saying.
Can I put him over Peyton Barber too?
Sucks. You can put him over Peyton Barber in this league because we don't need to start Peyton Barber.
Peyton Barber looked good, but I just do we want Peyton Barber? Are we ever going to actually?
Daigle compared his patience to vintage Le'Veon Bell. I'm not kidding. Yes, he did.
No.
On the Sunday recap pod, he said he looked like Le'Veon Bell in his prime in terms of his patience.
Daigle,
the best part of that is just imagining him and Silva in the basement watching film. They're huddled around Silva's phone because that's how Silva watches his recaps. And they're watching Peyton Barber. They're squinting.
Is that Le'Veon Bell?
Is that Le'Veon Bell right there? Oh my God, that's our generation's Le'Veon Bell.
Well, he's showed good patience, so it's probably worth picking him up if you need to start this week.
These guys, they tout Ezekiel Elliott all off season, and then they're doing that meme where it's like Ezekiel Elliott's their girlfriend, and then they're looking over their shoulder at Peyton Barber.
That is what it's like. Ezekiel Elliott, multiple
please
touchdowns.
Make that. Somebody make that.
Please make that with Silva's face. Actually, it should probably be Daigle's face.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Yeah, Daigle's face, Zeke next to him.
Did you fix this bid, Ben?
Yeah.
Who's
Okay.
pushing it?
Okay.
All right. Can we talk about Gio Bernard? Because he was available in a lot of leagues. What did he have? How many targets did he have last week before
10.
he got hurt? 10 targets?
Yeah.
I mean, Gio Bernard is now who James White was going to be for us, right?
Well, the issue with that is he really is only playing in the really obvious pass downs. He doesn't come in like in the normal flow of plays, basically only playing in like 2-minute drill and hurry up stuff. And the Bucks aren't actually going to trail a lot. It was actually interesting. He got a ton of volume, but he A, got hurt, and B, sort of confirmed that he can be good. We weren't wrong about that, but he got all of that work late. He didn't even run that many routes. He caught on their very last drive. They're down 17. He caught 1, 2, 3, 4 of his passes, including his TD, and his other stuff was in similar spots. They were down 14 in the third quarter when he caught another one on 3rd and 20. I mean, it was and then the 2-minute drill before halftime, he had another catch. So, I mean, it's only in these really exclusive spots, which sucks.
Yeah. That's
Peter, are you good with putting JJ Taylor ahead of Royce Freeman?
Yeah. I do think, I agree. My take on that, and it's the classic New England thing of the Bolden, Taylor, Ramondre. Obviously, you can throw Bolden out for having any upside, but both Taylor and Ramondre, they have untapped potential where the odds that they hit are probably low, but if they do hit, the payoff is really big.
That's
specifically with Ramondre.
Agreed.
I'm waiting till 2 minutes until 10 to pump Ramondre.
What about Jacques Patrick? We're dropping him in a number of leagues, but I'm starting to feel like maybe we would rather have him than Brandon Bolden or something.
I mean, if it didn't happen for Jacques Patrick last week, when is it ever happening?
It's not going to happen.
When Eli Mitchell bangs up his shoulder again, and he's been with the team for more than 4 days.
But
he's just with the team. He just hadn't been with the team very long. Yeah, you're right. It's very thin.
It just feels, I don't know. I'm cutting him everywhere on my side too, but I stashed him a lot of places. But the fact that he didn't get a single snap is just rough. So Bernard ran routes on 45% dropbacks, which was great in this last game, but they trailed the whole second half by by 2 touchdowns or more. Week 2, he ran routes on 13% of dropbacks. You guys that are involved, Naheem Hines never runs routes on 13% of dropbacks. JD McKissic never runs routes on 13% of dropbacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. It's
really hard to play him unless you know they're going to trail by 2 scores. Which when are we ever going to predict
They might never again.
Right. He can stack stuff. He's definitely better in best ball. I mean, he can stack stuff for best ball, like he did this week.
Best ball season is back. I almost feel like we should draft a resurrection team maybe next week.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Get in the mix. We can see what we're actually going to do is we're going to draft a team every single week, and we're going to see if Josh Gordon goes in the first 10 rounds.
He will. He'll go in the first 10 rounds of every single draft because we'll be drafting against other ship chasers, and that's how it'll work.
What do we think about this take from Sam here? Little take a peek that just locked at 10 p.m. Eastern. Little Thursday night take a peek. We're learning, guys. We're not pumping our bags until you can no longer pump them.
Yeah. I actually prefer Ryan as the take a peek, but I get it with Evans. But Ryan's playing a lot more snaps, and I mean this team's running the ball a lot. You know what I mean? They're not passing nearly as much as we thought. So getting the 2 down guys a little more appealing to me than Evans, who we don't even know how big his passing down role would be. But I certainly see the other side of that, and both are very cheap to add.
All right. It's locked. All bets are final. Should we talk about – I mean, Sean did come down on his Ramondre.
We logged in to see that Sean Siegel had a bid of, I believe, $560-something for Ramondre Stevenson in one of our leagues, which was – I mean, even for me, I was like, that's a lot of money, man. So we did have a couple bids in the, I believe, the 100 to 375 range for Ramondre.
Yeah.
Why are you smiling like that? Were you playing coy for the last hour? It seemed like you were playing coy.
I love Ramondre so much. I wasn't going to sit here and tell everyone, we got to go crazy. I mean, and I would also say Ramondre is not available in most leagues. So if he was out there, you knew to go after him.
You knew to go after him. Yeah, I mean, I do think, like, did you
That
guys see
just-
those?
Pulling the curtain back and making it clear that if we like a guy enough, we will not tell you to pick him up.
Well, if we like a guy enough and he's generally not available, I mean, what are we going to just tell everyone we're doing? Dalton Schultz, I did mention earlier. I think Sean had like he changed that to 14. We're trying to sneak him through. I believe the original bid he had for Schultz was like $300.
Hassan, you say we need to check our emails. I just pulled up my email. Your messages have all been since we went live. You want us? I mean, I can't read your emails, do a show,
But
and
Blair,
hawk an
also,
NFT chat at the same time.
And hawk what? Your NFT what?
It's like the multitasking has a limit, Hassan. What do you want us to do, buddy?
I did read your emails, and Blair said he handled it, so I thought we were good.
Blair handled it.
Oh, we bid $587 for Ramondre in Football Guys. So yeah, that's how Blair handled it.
All right,
Can't take it with you, man.
Oh my God. I like Ramondre. I should be checking my email more. Holy shit. Hassan.
Make it a
Make
bit.
it a
What? We can't. You just spend all the bit.
That's how bets work.
All right. You know what? The bit I did was not Ramondre. I almost made you guys sit through that entire
Ramondre or JJ, who'd you bet higher on? I was going higher on Ramondre in most of my leagues. For the reasons we did say before lock, that he has a better shot at a 3-down roll. He's a bigger back. He has a better shot to take stuff from Harris, potentially. You know, if Harris goes down, he's a better chance to be both the runner and the receiver than JJ does.
Yes.
I feel like this general question is one of the harder decisions we have right now. I mean, we were teasing about the Bateman stuff, who's coming back, but how are you guys thinking about Gallup, about Landry, about Judy, more so these injured guys? Who are you willing to let go, and who are you diamond handing in hopes of a return?
Diamond handing Judy.
Yeah, me too.
At this point, I'm not giving up on Judy. I mean, I think, and especially one of the big mistakes you can make is holding a guy for a few weeks and then getting annoyed that he's been sitting there on your bench. You make your decision immediately. Like, you've already screwed yourself for like 3 weeks. If you've held him till now, and it's kind of how I feel about Gallup too. Like, I understand that the idea of like sunk costs, and if it's a big problem. Wait, what's this? Bryan said, "What's good?" By the way, Gretch, I don't know who this person is. Anyway,
Why did that jump out to you?
Hey, tell Bryan I said what's good, man. I don't know. Who
Bryan said what's good, by the way. Okay, that would confuse me too. I thought there was a guy in the chat named Bryan who was like, yo, Gretz, what's good?
Hang on, I need to unpack this. Gretch, do you know someone that knows Bryan that knows Andrew?
I don't know that Andrew name, and I don't know Bryan. I mean, I apologize if I know you guys, and I'm being the dick here, but
I mean, I do just want to pass along. Bryan does say what's good, Gretch.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying, there's a guy out there named Bryan who's gonna have some hurt feelings when he watches this.
I know he thinks we're buddies. Sorry, Bryan.
Can we get to the bottom of this? Because Bryan did say what's good, brother.
Yeah, help me understand.
Hey, Ben, don't leave Bryan hanging. He just said
I did.
What's
I
good?
said what's good back. Hey, that was the first thing I said.
All right, and I'm just gonna pretend like I'm Bryan. Just doing good. How about you, buddy? What do you say to Bryan?
Good back.
Are you gonna leave me hanging? I just want to know what's good, brother.
Ben, answer the guy.
I told Andrew to tell you what's good. Least you can do is tell me what's good, brother.
What is this fucking accent? Least you can tell me what's good, brother.
He just wants to know what's good, man.
I just want to know what's good with you, buddy.
Who are we talking about? Was it still Ramondre? We moved on from Ramondre.
Wow, dude. I actually think that Ben does know who Bryan is, and things are not good.
All right. We're completely off the rails here. I don't even know what we were talking about, but People do want to know what's good, brother.
Freddie, say what's cracking, by the way.
Dude, do you know someone named Freddie that also knows Wallace? Because Freddie says, "What's cracking, Gretch?"
Oh man.
Oh shit!
I feel like I had a point
Oh,
before I
shit!
got totally sidetracked.
Champ, you know Jason? Tell Jason I say, "What is up?"
All right, that's how it's done.
What are we even doing here?
No one knows. No one knows.
Did our bids processed? Did we get our guys?
Checking
we were
to see.
talking about the cuts. We're talking about the cuts. The cuts is a
Talking
good one.
about the cuts.
Cuts is a good one.
Okay.
Judy, I think you got to hold. He looked really good in the short stint that he played. Obviously, he's very short, but you've held him to this point. Gallup, like health-wise, didn't seem like he'd be out very long. We got to be like a week or two away, right? How far are we away from Gallup being back? Your boy Edwin Porras has been tweeting out like projected timelines, and they seem fairly optimistic.
By the way, Pat, Edwin said, "What's good, Pat?"
Yeah, he did say what's good. That's right.
Yeah, what's good, man? What's good?
We do have a meme that just hit my inbox here. It is, of course, Evan Silva looking away from Zeke Elliott.
That is so good, and that's such a good picture of Zeke. Whoever found that picture of Zeke is, I mean, that's an art. That's
shout
art.
out. I believe Belair made this, unless someone else made it. Belair, let me know.
That's
incredible?
The only issue I have here is Peyton Barber's so bad I didn't know that's what he looked like.
That is what he looks like.
That's not an actual issue. That's a me issue.
The Zeke picture is so good.
It is. It's really good.
It
and he
is.
looks so upset. And even the smirk on Silva's face.
Yeah.
All the facial expressions line up perfectly.
It's amazing.
Perfect.
Excellent work, Belair. This is why we pay you the big bucks as a social media director. Incredible work on this here. All right, we're talking about the injuries. Let's get focused. I know a lot of people asking what's good, what's up, what's hanging, what's crack-a-lacking.
I'm with you, Ben. I mean, you have to make your decision right away. That's the most important thing, because you hold the guy for 2 weeks, you just wasted a really valuable roster spot, and then like for what? You truly wasted it. So, but I think
it's so sorry to cut you off, but it's so easy to get impatient. But like, don't get impatient.
Yeah.
Now
Put
we're,
yourself in the mindset
close.
of a few weeks out of like, are you actually gonna be able to hold the guy or not? But yeah, I think with Judy, I agree. I think he's someone to hold. Gallup, I think, they're like, it seems like they're running a lot of 2 tight end sets, right? Without Gallup, which I don't know. I maybe I'm wrong, but that seems bullish to me for Gallup. Like they're basically like our offense doesn't work the same without this guy. So we're actually going to shift to a kind of a different style. That seems like, he's going to come back, have a big role. Hopefully he's healthy, obviously, but Landry's tougher for me. I mean, they are running the ball a ton. OBJ looks pretty good. I think he's going to be mostly getting underneath stuff when he comes back. They use the tight ends a lot. So I think Landry would be someone I'd be more comfortable moving on from.
Yeah. I did just get word from our ship chasing crew, Sam and Eric, that we got Ramondre. They said
Nice.
We got him for $269 and Peyton Barber went for $259. So price adjusted, who would you rather have?
Well, we bid like $70 for Barber, so
yeah,
the one we bid on would be my answer.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess we haven't talked a lot about Barber.
Ben, are you all right there? You get in touch with Bryan?
What's
I'm
cracking,
still scrolling
Ben?
Edwin's timeline trying to find his injury projections.
Ben is just zoned, man. He's just like,
Well, then I started reading something that he retweeted about, I don't know, some guy breaking up with his barber. Was this viral? I missed it. It looks like it was very viral, but I started reading it and it was pretty hilarious. Yeah, are we doing a show?
You're just reading memes?
Yes,
I'm
just
You're just catching
Twitter.
up on memes right now?
Just catching up on memes.
This is barely a show at this point. I did get a screenshot from Sam. He showed us the bids in our league pretty crazy. So we get Ramondre. Schultz goes 259. Barber 250. Gordon 225. Kendrick Bourne scores 1 touchdown, 156. Marlon Mack 150. Knox 64. New Orleans defense 39. JJ Taylor 22. David Kitchen's favorite player, Tommy Tremble, for 21. Alex Collins. I guess this looks, honestly, this doesn't seem that crazy to me for this week. Pat, we get it. You live in New York. There's lots of arrests happening.
No, dude, it's the Josh Gordon thing, man. I said he was better in best ball, dude.
Dude, tell the Fuzz I say what's up.
I mean, Barber, that's a ridiculous price for Barber, too.
What's good, cops?
I don't care how good Peyton Barber looked for 1 week. You know who Peyton Barber is. And Josh Jacobs is going to come back. What is happening? Why are we spending a quarter of our budget on Peyton Barber?
I think J.J. Taylor might be the best get there of the whole list.
Price adjusted.
Ramondre's close. That's not a bad get there for Ramondre, especially if you're talking about Barber going $19 cheaper. Like, are you kidding me? And I don't think.
Well, Trey Lance. How do we miss Trey Lance being out there?
Oh yeah, that was dumb. You guys should have got him.
I'm gonna write Eric and Sam right now. I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
How did we miss? Who's our quarterback in that league? We have Allen.
Josh Allen, but I mean Trey Lance just shouldn't be out there.
All right, I'm not gonna send it. It's maturity. Anything else standing out? Marlon Mack for 150 feels real rich to me.
That's real rich. Yeah.
Yes. Jesus.
Yeah. Anyone that Sam, I can pull up some. I actually like this.
This is a lot of wasted money. Dawson Knox for 64, I like. I think Dawson Knox might actually do it, dude. Like, we're all kind of sick of it, but he's only in his 3rd year, and like, guy's a little bit athletic. He's running more routes now than ever before. His actual, targets per route and everything are actually down a little bit. I think they could rebound. It's been a kind of a small sample. Week 1, he only ran like 40-something% of the routes. Weeks 2 and 3, he was up over 75%. Really good numbers for him. Caught a TD in each week. I mean, especially like if Beasley and Manny, like I've talked before, like they're relying a lot on some older receivers. If those guys can't play 17 games each, I've thought it could be Gabe Davis, but Gabe Davis like can't seem to get on the field. What if it's Dawson Knox that winds up playing a lot?
This was a nice one for us. We got Ramondre for 137, JJ for 29, and then we got the Chris Evans look ahead. That's a nice haul because we're going to have the passing down back unless it's Brandon Bolden, which it could be.
You see our friend Frank going hard on Gio Bernard there. 252. Shout out Frank. More cowbell here. This is our league with Sam Sherman. If you guys are in a league co-managing with us and you're able to take the screenshot on mobile of the bids and you want to send them over, I will pull them up. Anything else jumping out to you? I didn't realize Tommy Tremble was such a thing. Kitchen was touting him hard on the Swolecast today.
I'm not really that into it. Yeah. I know he's athletic, but like it takes more than athleticism to be a good tight end. Tight end is like such a difficult needle to thread to become fantasy relevant. In fact, he's athletic. He's a rookie, man.
It's purely the Dan Arnold trade. Tommy Tremble was 4th on Carolina in snaps last week. I mean, he had some catches and stuff. He ran more routes. He wasn't 4th in routes, but like they got other dudes too. It's not just Dan Arnold that was keeping him off the field. And then on top of it, Dan Arnold wasn't even that fantasy relevant, even though he was actually getting some targets and doing some things because his team is built around DJ Moore. And eventually when Christian McCaffrey's back, Tommy Tremble's not going to be a thing.
Well, they had Ian Thomas out there a ton last year, and he was the only guy, and he was not fantasy relevant.
Right.
It's like CJ Uzoma gonna be fantasy relevant? Like, there's just some systems that don't really use the tight end that much as a receiver. Dan Arnold, if anything, was kind of the exception because he's almost a slot receiver. So losing him, I'm more interested in Dan Arnold in Jacksonville, and I'm not that interested, but I would still be more interested in him than Tommy Tremble.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. I got lots of results coming in. I like this setup here where I get screenshots because I believe the bids only show up on mobile like this. This is from our league with Josh and Evan are Buckeye boomers. Let me zoom in here. Let's see if we get. So we got Ramondre for $358 here. Conklin available. JJ Taylor here goes for $191.
Are these all mains? Are you guys getting Ramondre available on all these? He's only available on 2 of mine.
Yeah. These are
Yeah,
mains.
I think it was available in 4 mains, including the one that we're in with Sean.
Oh, so you got him in all 3 of the other ones. Did we get him in? I wonder if we got him in that one with Sean. Oh, we did. Cool.
Yeah, nice. 4 more Ramondre shares.
Well,
I'd
I
love
think
to see it.
it makes, I mean, when we talk about the grinders, I mean, him being inactive, I think really gave a buy low. This was like a perfect storm here to get him at, like, if Ramondre was active and even had 5 or 6 touches, and then
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
down, the price
500.
roof. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe even higher. I mean, we just saw Mitchell go for 900 plus.
I will say, if I was, I noticed we got Marquez Valdez-Scantling here for 62. That's kind of, I would have assumed that someone would have gone harder for him that was wide receiver needy.
That works for me.
That's nice. Let's see here. I can get some more pulled up here.
Man, I had a list of like 6 Ds in one league, and they all got picked up for more than we didn't get a D.
A defense?
Yeah. 6 different defenses got picked up this week in the
Wow.
same league I'm in.
Here is our team with Chris G unit here. Tyler Conklin goes for $259, cranking it purple. Chasing the helmet in the mix for Marlon Mack. What did we pick up? G unit sneaked on Royce Freeman for $2. JJ Taylor does seem like the best steal in these, $24 here.
Yeah, he's the best deal. Royce for 2 is not bad. I'm not that excited about him, but hamstring injuries can recur. So,
Yep. Let's see over here. I have our team with Seth and Jared. Dawson Knox.
Sorry, before we go, I just want to say that when Blair said he took care of it, he upped the bid on Ramondre. That's pretty awesome. That's great.
I mean, Sean and Blair are such a dangerous combination together. They're ready to watch the world burn.
What did we spend in ours? What did we wind up at 500 plus? Oh yeah. Oh no. We got him for reasonably cheap.
So I think they had it at. So here's Blair. And apologies if you did not want these read, but I wonder if your Ramondre bid is ludicrous enough. What would you think of going up to like 550? And then Hassan said, I pulled it back from 689 so I can push it up. And then Hassan said, can someone up the bid, please? Not near computer. This is at 9:43 when we're on the stream. And then Blair did take care of it by upping it to 587. So we spent a lot of money on Roger Stevens.
Eric, we always assumed that was you in this league with the team name UFOs Are Real, but apparently not. JJ Taylor continuing to go in that range to us at $21. We also pick up Jeffrey Wilson. I love picking up Jeffrey Wilson in this spot
For a buck.
For a buck. Tell Jeffrey Wilson we say, what's up?
What's good, Jeff?
What's up, Jeff? You seeing how dog shit the rest of your teammates are? When are you going to get up there and put up some points, Jeff? All right.
Skill, dude.
Let's see. Anything else jumping out here? Brandon Bolden, $6. James Washington, $22. All right. Looks good. Dominated the waiver wire. It's what we do week after week. Don't laugh.
We got JJ in cranking purple as well, and Chris Evans there. I'm just looking through right now. All my teams too. But yeah, that's we got D-Jax. We got Deshaun Jackson in that one league.
That for our $10 bid?
Yeah.
This is what people say, you can't give away your exact bids on a stream. No. Yes, you can, especially if you're going for a wide receiver who's 46 years old and has 2 good games a year.
and just had one of them.
Gotta love it.
Somehow we got Brandon Bolden in Piss Boys. And not Peyton Barber, who I believe had a pretty decent bid on.
Yeah, well, the Piss Boys are pissing right now, that's for sure. Did we end up with any Josh Gordons?
No, we went real light on Gordon. I think we had him like $10 or something. That wasn't going to get it done this week.
No. This is the real question. Eric, at Brick Van Exel on Twitter, and we need to find out if he picked up JJ Taylor.
Well, I mean, dude, this date was ruined if he's still watching. I mean, it's he's been in the bathroom for 32 minutes. I mean, he just torched the date. So I hope you'll have to get back to us tomorrow.
Yeah, just next time though. I mean, you can't go on a date when ship chasing streaming. Everyone needs to be at home in the comfort of their own home with no social life, no sex life, no taking care of your children, no taking care of your, hygienic
If we don't have your
needs.
full and undivided attention, we will take offense.
We will. I mean,
yeah, we'll be like Bryan tonight when Gretch didn't know who he was.
Yeah, if your friends aren't asking us to pass along what's up, then you're not going to make it. Anything else you guys would like to talk
I don't
about?
know a single Bryan with a Y in my whole life. I had
Brian Edwards, dude. Could have been
Bryan
Brian
with an I.
Edwards.
Bryan Edwards, literally a Bryan you know very well.
Okay.
Well, how do you know it wasn't him? I mean, you literally just said you don't know any Bryans. Could have been Bryan Edwards.
I don't know Bryan Edwards.
How are our teams doing? Pat, tell Andrew how our teams are doing.
Not great. Overall, it's been a bit of a slow start. We do have the starting 5 team that has Saquon Barkley and is 2-1. That's probably the best start that we've gotten off to. The start that was at one point top 50 in the main. This team we have with Sam has lost 2 straight. A lot of 1-2 teams out there. A lot of 1-2 teams.
Our point totals are solid. I do want to give an incredibly fun fact. All right, our team chasing stolen bananas with Sean, and our team with Sam are both in 758th place with the exact same amount of points, 452.65.
Wow.
What are the odds that 2 ship chasing teams have the exact amount of points down to 2 decimals?
Well, our player pool was like
Have you started
27 dudes. So
Have we started the exact same players? Like,
I think there's different players on there.
there might be like 2 different players. They had this. It's like a 2v2 that did the same.
That's the. I don't know if we're allowed to say why Leone couldn't put in his bids for us today. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to even stop myself. That's his news to share. How did you get our bids in?
yeah, I got him in, but the NFC site is such a nightmare to navigate. I just don't know how I'm
Would you tell them to
going
fix their site?
I mean, if you have some spare time at some point while you're running your business, fix your site.
What's our record in NFC?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm all heated now. You guys got me all worked up. We have let's see. We
won week 1. We had the second most points in week 1.
We're in 7th place.
What's our record?
I mean, there's no way to know. We're 1-2. We've lost 2.
Damn.
But it's a good team. We've got, let's see. To remind people, we've got Joe Burrow at quarterback. Joe Burrow, Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, Rondale Moore, Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown, Travis Kelce, Deebo Samuel. And then our bench has taken some hits. We got Elijah Moore, Will Fuller, dealing with an injury now, Michael Gallup, Jalen Reagor, Trey Lance, Jerick McKinnon, Rashad Bateman. That looks pretty good. Justin Jackson, Alex Collins, De'Ami Brown.
Yeah, the receivers are not as good as you would think, but Kelce, Burrow's going to do better. Taylor and Swift is going to be a sweet running back combo. Swift especially is about to be a league winner. That
Swift
going to
is
be good.
he looks like such an incredible pick. The
Swift's
crazy thing
have
about
to have guy.
Yeah, he's like you had to have him. God, I hope he stays healthy. If I mean, the whole thing with the wide receivers, like while we're so wide receiver heavy in the drafts and everything, but like then you look at your teams 3 weeks in, and there's really no teams where I'm like, wow, we are so stacked at wide receiver. Like you're wrong. You're wrong about a lot of the guys, and that's the most important position. So I don't know. It's always like kind of crazy when we are sitting here right before the season's about to begin to like imagine that like, oh yeah, Ayuk's going to be like benched and not like have a role.
I mean, most of it has been the injuries too, Judy and Gallup and all that. But you're right. When you wanted to take Bateman and all these spots to be our wide receiver 8, wide receiver 9, I was like, Pat, what? We have 7 good receivers, and now I'm like, Pat, what the fuck? Why don't we have more Bateman? Like, we need Bateman coming back. Everyone else is dead. We need Bateman.
Yeah, I know it's because like you don't want to think about, and you also are thinking like, and I think this is a difference between best ball and these leagues where like you want to be able to survive being wrong about like you want to survive being able to be wrong the percentage time that you're likely to be wrong at wide receiver. You know what I mean? You don't want to have to run hot on your wide receiver selections to win the league. You want to be right. You want to be as right as the field and still have a chance to win your league because of the structure.
What is your guys' take on the Dolphins right now? I feel like they're a weird team. Obviously, Waddle getting a shit ton of targets. Fuller, though, his role was solid coming back. Brissett at quarterback. Where are you guys at on the Dolphins?
I'm excited about Waddle. They ran a lot of play action in week 1. He had a decent ADOT. It was about 10. And then they haven't run like really much play action at all with Brissett. But the running game's also sucked. There's no like reason that I can think of why you wouldn't be running play action specifically because of Brissett. I think it's more likely that they haven't been able to get the run game going. They're in a matchup this week where they probably should be able to get the run game going. In which case, maybe they start running play action again. That's good for the whole passing offense, but I think it might be particularly good for Waddle because it could get him downfield a little bit more. Maybe he's getting, a couple downfield shots mixed in with a lot of targets underneath. Brissett's looking for him a lot. So I think he in particular could see some upside unlocked if they start running play action again like they were. I mean, Tua, I think, might be still the league leader in play action rate. They were running a ton of play action in week 1.
Gretch.
Somebody asked if I was sleeping, and I kind of was. It's been a long 3 days. It's been a long few days. No, I'm awake. I was listening. That was great. No, so I thought that was really interesting about play action. My thing that I saw in signals was
you just heard the word play action. That's all.
Waddle. You woke me up with that word.
Play action. Yeah.
Waddle's been in the slot a lot the first 2 weeks. This past week, even more. With Fuller back. It was very clearly Fuller and Devontae on the outside, Waddle almost exclusively in the slot. His ADOT was 3.1. He got all these targets short and a lot over the middle. And same with Gesicki. I don't know if it was something that the opponent was doing. Can't even remember who they're playing. Raiders?
I think the Raiders, yeah.
I don't know if it was something the Raiders were doing that was sort of forcing some of the passes over the middle, if that was Brissett or whatever, but both Gesicki and Waddle had double-digit targets, both sort of short area, middle of the field, out of the slot. Both had high slot rates. So you figure there was something there in this game that sort of led to that. I think it was good, though, for Waddle that he was in this role. His routes actually went up with Fuller back. It was like they really locked into this is going to be their 4-man core. Now, I think Albert Wilson was inactive. Some of these other guys that might rotate sometimes, but it was great to see, I think, for kind of all of the guys that it was a little bit more concentrated. It was Devontae and Fuller outside. It was Waddle and then Gesicki in the slot as these alternating sort of interior receivers. But to your point, Pat, if they do get into play action, Waddle could use some downfield shots. The 3.18 out's not great. But I also didn't mind it. The 12 catches for 58 yards is gross. But he's explosive. He's going to, if he gets 13 targets underneath, he's going to pick up some yak most weeks. He's going to have some plays that pop. And so, anyway, pretty excited about him.
Pat, any final takes
Well, where are you at on Miami? That's like those are your guys, man.
Well, I'm distraught. I'm a Tua guy. I want to believe in Tua, and just never comes together. I'm worried. I mean, we have Fuller on basically every team, and I feel like when I was going through our teams today, and we're going to have a lot of like Fuller versus LaVisca decisions this week, and Visca plays on Thursday, and I feel like we're going to have to go through our teams and decide are we starting Visca this week?
Yeah, which is tough because I don't think that's going to be a fast-paced game necessarily. Like Cincinnati might be running the ball a bunch, might just be wanting to get a win and get out of there. I mean, my thing with Visca is like he is running a bunch of routes. He's getting targeted at a pretty decent rate. He's like it's basically everything we want is good and there, except he's got this crazy low ADOT, 4.8. But we just talked about how we're excited about Waddle. He has a lower ADOT. We're excited about Rondé Moore. He has a lower ADOT. His yards per target sucks. He has a 4.8 yards per target. So
yeah, because
that's the thing.
A bunch of bad drops too, so his catch percentage is bad.
Yeah.
in week 2.
And we fade yards per target, right? So like I don't know. I would actually probably be inclined to go Visca and just bank the health. Dealing with Will Fuller. I don't even know what his injury is, but he wasn't at practice today, I don't think.
What? He can't be that banged up. He played through the game. He caught their 2-point conversion to force OT, and it was like an ISO play to get the ball to Will Fuller. I thought that was a pretty promising thing.
But I think it was at the end. I think it was in OT, right? It was that long shot. Yeah, it was that long shot. He it looked like he pulled up.
Oh, he almost caught it or something? Oh,
yeah,
no.
Yeah, in the end zone. And then he kind of like jogged off the field a little bit, limping. I thought maybe it was a hammy, but I haven't seen confirmation of that at all.
Yeah.
Okay, it's chest and elbow, it looks like.
Okay, what? Those are not related. Chest and elbow? So it's two separate
I guess he
injuries.
went down really hard on that touchdown attempt. But that's better. Upper body's better.
That just sounds like he has 2 boo-boos.
Yeah, 2 boo-boos makes me lean Fuller. Now I'm starting to lean Fuller. It's going to be a tough decision.
Chest and elbow, he's just sore.
This is.
I want to say on the Visca thing real quick. There was I mentioned this on Stealing Bananas this week too, and I don't know who posted it. I wish I could give the credit where it's due. Somebody commented that Lawrence has thrown 6 interceptions. They've all been downfield. 5 of the times, basically, they went back and looked at him. He had open like outlets underneath. And so the main thing was like Lawrence just needs to learn to not force the ball down the field, which I think is like a perfect thing to have wrong when you're a rookie quarterback, that he's already being vertical enough. He's already stretching the field enough.
Yeah.
That's an easy adjustment to make. He's not doing the thing where he's throwing underneath too much, or the offense is not limiting too much to do that, like what happened with Fields to a certain degree. And that benefits probably James Robinson and the running backs, but it also benefits Visca. Like if you go look at the volume, it is a ton of shots to Marvin Jones and DJ Chark, and probably too many. Like he needs to learn to come back underneath 2 guys like Visca. So as he starts to develop that and then understand how to like mix up his passes to different layers and not just be constantly looking 20 plus yards downfield, which is again like good. It's good that he's stretching it and then he can come back shallow. I think that'll be good for Visca.
That's a good point.
Is this how we know we've made it as a podcast where we get start-sit questions in the chat?
Jesus.
Visca, Rondell, Fuller, Waddle. I mean, this guy sounds like a ship-chasing fan right here.
Yeah, I'd play Waddle for sure.
Waddle's locked in, yeah.
Waddle and probably Rondale.
I'd go Visca. Rondale his routes were down.
I know, but I like the game environment much more for Arizona Rams, but I see it.
I like DFS Pete.
That's an interesting.
I want to talk to you more late in the week. I like your.
Yeah, don't talk to me early in the week. I'm like fucking Bryan early in the week. You want to have nothing to do with it. Late in the week,
we gotta get a chip cheese.
Late in the week, you're like Andrew.
Yeah.
The other guy you haven't heard of, but we'll talk to.
Yeah, DFS Pete is like best ball Pete. He only has takes based on what the market is doing. What was this question? I mean, come on.
No.
You're gonna come on ship chasing? And you're gonna try to trade Brandon Ayuk?
I mean, it was smart of you to put your name as no name. I mean,
yeah.
I love the parentheses. I am deep at wide receiver.
It was.
We
good.
all are, buddy.
That's a smart witness protection idea there. We don't want to know your name.
Yeah, we're all deep at wide receiver until Jerry Jeudy, Michael Gallup, and Rashad Bateman are all hurt, and then we're not so deep.
Bateman was hurt when we drafted him in a lot of leagues.
All right. Any final takes before we power down this bad boy?
I'm glad we got Ramondre, man.
Love Ramondre. Love him. Gretch, final takes?
I think
Ramondre Stevenson.
These what is Visca?
I was hoping you'd go out on that piece.
He's just fancy Rondale Moore. Like I feel so trolled. Come on, my final take is that Visca needs a 100-yard game this week. Come on.
That's also a Josh Norris talking point. Oh, Evan Cohen's one of the teams though, so he knows that.
It's like asking Ben Gretch which of his two children that toss him beers is his favorite. Like you're just not going to get an answer from us. I mean, come on. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. We can still love Visca and also love Rondale.
I love that you're calling him Rondale.
That's
Chris G.
Chris G started that.
Rondale.
Yeah. Chris G also says good night, by the way, Gretch.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long few days. I'm gonna get some good sleep tonight.
Yeah, what's it there? Like 7:38?
Yeah, it's almost bedtime.
What are you guys having for dinner, Ben?
I had teriyaki. That's why I was late. You guys started without me. I was
Don't you always have
dinner.
teriyaki? I feel like
I've had teriyaki
you
a
always
lot.
Have teriyaki.
It's a Wednesday night thing in the Gretch household, apparently.
Oh my goodness.
Midweek, we just don't want to cook. We're like, let's order some fucking teriyaki and be done with it.
All right.
What was your delivery guy's name? Was it Bryan?
Ooh.
Did you not say what's up?
Did you
delivery guy?
Did you solve the issue? Maybe it was Bryan.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning into Ship Chasing. Check out Sam Hoppin's episode of Stat Chasing this week. And if you would like to watch that live, we are making that exclusive for YouTube/Discord members. You can subscribe down below. It's $4.99 a month. Get you
Stephon Diggs buy low. That was his
Stephon
big.
Diggs buy. Yeah. There you go. And having a lot of good times in the Discord. Check out Ben Gretch, Stealing Signals. He has a new article out tonight on TPRR. Did I hit that, Gretch?
You did. Yeah, weighted. WTPRR. You got to get all of it. Weighted.
It's weighted. Check
Brings
it out.
in some air yards. Yeah.
And Pat, we have the Friday work through coming
Walk through, buddy.
Oh God, you need to go to bed.
I need to go to bed. Will you think about changing it to the work through?
No, I sure won't. It's called the Friday walkthrough.
Pete, we came up with this.
We did.
Yeah.
What's that? Tell Jason I say goodnight too. Everyone, let me see GNs. Let me see GNs in the chat. We will see you guys next Wednesday. Good luck this week. We're going out with none other than fucking JJ Taylor.
The 1 yard line. Tate will take the snap, hand off Taylor, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
Taylor to the end zone for the touchdown.
Play you one. Tate will hand off Taylor, dives over the top. Touchdown, Arizona. Wildcats will run the play. Hand off J.J. Taylor, right side. Spins away at the 15. Her side up to the 10, the 20, 25 out to the 30. Gets a block to the 40 to midfield. Turns the corner. Sun Devil 40. Foot race down to the 35 to the 30 and out of bounds. Near the 25-yard line. 1st and 10, Arizona. Pistol set. Table hand off J.J. Taylor. Squirts to up the 50. First down, breaks a tackle and dives. Goes the screen pass, and it's caught. 35 down to the 30, 25. Over a man at the 20 and a first down. J.J. Taylor. Taylor to the 10, Taylor to the 5. He leaps into the end zone. Head over heels. Touchdown, Arizona.